The fluorescent lights of Romano Construction's executive floor hum with the kind of persistent buzz that becomes white noise after 3 years. I've learned to tune it out, along with the clicking of my keyboard, the distant murmur of voices through closed office doors, and the subtle anxiety that comes with working 6 feet away from one of the most dangerous men in Chicago. My desk sits in the antechamber to Dante Romano's office, a position that's equal parts privilege and prison. Every person who wants to see him passes my station first. Every phone call filters through my extension. Every meeting, every appointment, every minute of his impossibly packed schedule is mine to orchestrate, protect, and maintain with military precision. At 26, I've been his executive secretary longer than anyone else in recent memory. The position has a reputation for burning people out within 18 months. Too much pressure, too many hours, too many late-night emergencies that couldn't wait until morning. But I've survived by developing systems. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Drop a comment telling me where in the world you're watching from. I love hearing from you. By anticipating needs before they're voiced, and by maintaining absolute professional distance from the truth everyone knows but nobody discusses. The construction business is legitimate, everything filed properly, taxes paid, contracts above board. But Romano Construction is just the respectable face of the Romano crime family, Chicago's third oldest and most powerful organization. They've controlled the near West Side for 4 generations, since Dante's great-grandfather came from Palermo in 1922 with nothing but a knife and ambition. Protection services for every business from Harlem Avenue to the Kennedy Expressway, union control that makes or breaks development projects across the city, waste management contracts that ensure certain neighborhoods run smoothly, gambling operations in back rooms of restaurants that have served the same families for decades. This is the real Romano Empire, built on blood, and loyalty and codes that predate the laws they sometimes break. I've learned not to ask questions, to type meeting notes without processing the words, to schedule appointments with men whose names I recognize from news reports about organized crime, to ignore the weight of the gun I sometimes see beneath Marco's jacket when he stands guard outside Dante's office during sensitive meetings. It's a survival mechanism in an environment where curiosity can be dangerous. My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus, the notification lighting up the screen beside my untouched coffee. The coffee went cold an hour ago, somewhere between reconciling Dante's October schedule and fielding 17 phone calls from people who all insisted their matter was urgent. Can we talk tonight? About Santorini. Tomorrow is supposed to be the start of my honeymoon. 2 weeks in Greece that Marcus surprised me with when he proposed 6 months ago. White buildings against blue water. Sunsets over the Aegean. A break from the relentless pace of this job that consumes more of my life than I'm willing to acknowledge. My fingers hover over the keyboard, but before I can respond, Dante's office door opens. He emerges with his suit jacket slung over one arm, white shirt sleeves rolled to his elbows, revealing forearms marked with scars I've never asked about. At 38, Dante Romano carries himself with the kind of controlled power that makes people instinctively step aside when he walks past. Dark hair touched with silver at the temples. Sharp features that could have been carved from marble-strong Italian genetics passed down through generations. Eyes so dark they appear black unless you're close enough to catch the deep brown undertones. 6'3" of coiled strength wrapped in designer clothing and an aura of danger he doesn't bother trying to hide. Isabel. His voice carries the faint rasp of someone who's spent too many years in smoke-filled back rooms where family business is discussed. Status on the North Side contract? I pull up the file without looking, fingers moving across my keyboard with practiced efficiency. Signed and filed. I sent digital copies to your personal email and had hard copies couriered to the site manager this morning. Construction begins Monday, weather permitting. The union rep? Handled. He's agreed to the terms. What I don't say, the union rep is on the Romano payroll, has been for 15 years, ensures that Romano projects never face labor issues. I scheduled a follow-up meeting for next Thursday at 2. Dante nods, his gaze sweeping across my desk, cataloging the organized chaos only I can navigate. His eyes land on my phone, still illuminated with Marcus's text. If he read the message, his expression gives nothing away. What about the charity gala? He asks. The charity gala. The annual Romano Construction fundraiser that serves triple duty as a networking event for Chicago's elite. A strategic opportunity for Dante to consolidate relationships with politicians and business leaders, and a carefully orchestrated display of the Romano family's power to anyone paying attention. This year's event is in 3 days, and as his executive secretary, I'm expected to oversee every detail from guest list to seating arrangements to last-minute emergencies. Everything's confirmed, I say, pulling up the master spreadsheet. 342 confirmed guests, including the mayor, 2 senators, and at least 15 CEOs from the Fortune 500 list. The venue is set. Catering is finalized. Catering from Russo's? Dante interrupts. Mama Rosa's, actually. Your mother insisted. I pull up the contract. She said the Russos watered down their marinara, and no son of hers would serve watered-down sauce to 300 people. Something that might be amusement flickers across Dante's features. His mother, Lucia Romano, is a force of nature who terrifies most people more than Dante does. 72 years old, barely 5 feet tall, and absolutely nobody argues with her about food, family, or the proper way to run the Romano operations that she helped build alongside her late husband. Smart choice. What about security? Marco's handling the perimeter. Tony's team will manage internal. I've coordinated with the venue about arrival sequences and safe rooms if needed. I pull up the security protocol Marco sent me. The Castellano family is confirmed. Marco wants them seated where he can maintain visual contact. The temperature in the room drops 10 degrees. The Castellanos are Chicago's second most powerful family. Their territory covers the South Side, and for 3 generations, the relationship between the Romanos and Castellanos has been complicated. Sometimes allies, sometimes rivals, always dangerous. They're coming to the gala because refusing would be an insult, but their presence means tension will simmer beneath the polished surface all night. How many Castellanos? Dante's voice has taken on the cold, controlled tone that means he's calculating threats and responses. Marco Castellano and his wife, his brother Anthony, his nephew Luca. I've memorized the list because Dante will want to know exactly who's in the room. Seating at table 6. Close enough to show respect, far enough to prevent friction. Table 6 puts them near the kitchen entrance. Yes, Marco suggested it. Easy exit if things get tense. Also makes it clear we're watching them. Dante's expression shifts to something that might be approval. Good. I need you there throughout the evening. Not as a guest, but working, managing the flow, handling problems before they become visible, especially anything involving the Castellanos. My heart sinks. I've known this was coming, felt it building over the past week, as the gala details consumed more of my time. But hearing it stated explicitly makes it real, makes the choice unavoidable. Sir, I stop, reorganizing my thoughts. Professional distance. Always maintain professional distance. I requested that weekend off 3 months ago, for my honeymoon. I'm aware. His tone remains neutral, almost disinterested. I'm also aware that this event represents the most important gathering of Chicago's power structure this year. The mayor will be there, senators, people we need alliances with, and the Castellanos, who've been making moves on our territory for the past 6 months. His eyes meet mine. Your presence isn't negotiable, Isabel. The words land like a physical blow, but I keep my expression carefully neutral. 3 years of working for Dante Romano have taught me how to mask emotions that could be perceived as weakness. I understand the event is important, but nothing. His voice doesn't rise, but the steel underneath becomes audible. This isn't about a party. This is about power. About showing everyone in this city that the Romano family is united, strong, and controls every detail of our territory. You know how this works. You know what the gala really means. He's right. I do know. The gala isn't a fundraiser. It's a demonstration. A carefully choreographed display where alliances are made and broken, where respect is shown or denied, where the Romano family reminds everyone exactly who runs the near West Side. Postpone your honeymoon, Dante continues. Reschedule for next month, after the North Side project breaks ground and we've handled the Castellano situation. It's not a suggestion. It's not even really a command. It's simply a statement of what will happen. Because in Dante Romano's world, what he decides becomes reality through sheer force of will and the power he wields. I should argue. Should stand my ground and insist on the time off I properly requested months in advance. Should remind him that I have a life outside this office. Commitments that matter. A relationship that deserves priority. Instead, I hear myself say, I'll handle it. Dante nods once, already moving toward the elevator. Staff meeting at 3. Make sure everyone's there. And Isabel? He pauses at the elevator. Wear the navy dress to the gala, the one you wore to last year's Christmas party. It's appropriate. The elevator doors close before I can respond. I'm left staring at the space where he stood, my hands trembling slightly as I process what just happened. He noticed what I wore to the Christmas party 9 months ago. Remembered it well enough to request it specifically. That shouldn't matter. It definitely shouldn't make my pulse quicken. I pick up my phone, stepping away from my desk toward the floor-to-ceiling windows that overlook Chicago's downtown skyline. The city sprawls beneath me, all steel and glass and autumn sunlight. Somewhere out there, Marcus is at his accounting firm, completely unaware that the honeymoon he planned is about to be canceled. Again. This is the 3rd time in 6 months. First, it was the merger with the Detroit operations that required my presence for document preparation, really a cover for integrating a smaller family's territory into Romano control. Then the emergency restructuring when federal investigators started looking into one of Romano's waste management subsidiaries. Now this. Marcus was understanding the first time, frustrated but supportive the second time. What will he be this 3rd time? I dial his number, and he answers on the second ring. Hey, I was just thinking about you. You get my text? Yeah, about that. I close my eyes, steeling myself. Marcus, I have bad news. I can't take the honeymoon this weekend. Something came up with work. The silence on the other end stretches long enough that I check to make sure the call didn't drop. Finally, Marcus speaks, his voice carefully controlled. Something came up. With work. 3 days before we're supposed to leave for Greece. The charity gala is Saturday night, and Mr. Romano needs me here to manage it. It's a major event, hundreds of important guests, and your boss can't possibly function without his secretary for 1 weekend. There's an edge to Marcus's voice now, anger bleeding through the careful control. Isabel, we've been planning this trip for 6 months. I already told my family. My mom bought you a travel guide. My dad gave me his camera specifically for this trip. I know. I'm sorry. But this isn't optional. The gala is critical for the company, and Mr. Romano was very clear that he needs me there. Of course he was, because Dante Romano says jump and you ask how high. Marcus's voice rises. Do you even hear yourself? You're canceling our honeymoon, Isabel, because your boss tells you to. What kind of relationship is this? That's not fair. You know how demanding this job is. You knew that when we got engaged. I knew the job was demanding. I didn't know you'd put it ahead of everything else, including your own wedding and honeymoon. He's pacing now. I can hear it in his breathing. This is the 3rd time, Isabel. 3 times you've canceled important plans because Dante Romano decided he needed you more than I do. Marcus. No, let me finish. I've been patient. I've been understanding. But I'm starting to wonder if you even want to marry me, or if I'm just the safe, practical choice you settled for while you give all your actual energy and attention to your boss. The accusation stings because there's truth in it that I don't want to examine. That's ridiculous. Of course I want to marry you. I love you. Do you? Because from where I'm standing it looks like you love your job more. Or maybe you love Dante Romano more and just won't admit it. Don't be absurd. He's my boss. This is professional. Professional. Marcus laughs, but there's no humor in it. Isabel, I've seen the way you talk about him, the way your voice changes when he calls, the way you drop everything the second. He needs something. That's not professional. That's devotion. You're being jealous and irrational. Maybe I am. Or maybe I'm finally seeing clearly. Marcus's voice drops to something quieter, more dangerous. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to make a choice. Either you tell Dante Romano that you're taking your scheduled honeymoon, and he needs to find someone else to manage his party, or you call me back and we discuss whether this engagement is actually going to lead to a marriage. Marcus, you can't give me an ultimatum. I just did. You have until tomorrow morning to decide. Choose your job and your boss, or choose me and our future together. But you don't get both anymore. He hangs up. I stand at the window, phone still pressed to my ear, the dial tone buzzing. The city blurs as tears I refuse to let fall make everything watery. I've spent 3 years convincing myself that this job is worth the sacrifices, that working for the Romano family is a career opportunity most people would kill for, that the money and the prestige and the insider view of real power justify the long hours and moral compromises. But standing here with an ultimatum ringing in my ears, I'm forced to acknowledge the truth I've been avoiding. Marcus isn't wrong about any of it. I do prioritize Dante's needs over my own plans. I do drop everything when he calls. And yes, my voice does change when I talk about him, though I've told myself it's professional respect, not personal interest. But if it's just professional respect, why did my pulse quicken when he mentioned remembering the navy dress? Why do I find myself watching him during meetings, cataloging the small gestures that reveal his thoughts? Why does the idea of telling him I'm leaving for 2 weeks make my chest tight with something that feels uncomfortably like anxiety? I'm engaged to a good man who loves me, who wants to build a stable, normal life together. Marcus is kind and predictable and safe. He'll never ask me to compromise my morals or keep secrets, or work for criminals whose business is built on violence and intimidation. Dante Romano is none of those things. He's dangerous and demanding and operates in a world where loyalty is enforced through fear and respect is earned through strength. He's a criminal, running an empire that's caused more pain than I want to think about. He's exactly the kind of man I should stay far away from. So why can't I stop thinking about him? The office phone rings, pulling me back from thoughts I shouldn't be having. I answer automatically, shifting back into my professional voice. Romano Construction, Dante Romano's office. Isabel, cara mia. The voice is warm, Italian accented, unmistakably maternal. It's Mama Lucia. Is my stubborn son available? Mrs. Romano, of course. Let me check if he's free. I put her on hold and buzz Dante's office. Your mother on line 1. Tell her I'm in a meeting. I'm not telling your mother you're avoiding her. You tell her. There's a pause, and I can picture his expression, the slight exasperation mixed with resignation that crosses his face whenever Lucia Romano is mentioned. Fine. Put her through. I transfer the call and try not to listen to the conversation happening in the next room. But the walls are thin, and Dante's voice carries when he switches to Italian, the language he uses with his mother and only his mother. I don't speak Italian beyond a few phrases I've picked up working here, but his tone is respectful, affectionate, occasionally exasperated. Si, mamma. No, non posso. Mamma, per favore. Yes, mother. No, I can't. Mother, please. The conversation continues for 20 minutes, a musical back and forth that makes me smile despite everything. This is the side of Dante Romano most people never see, the son who calls his mother every Sunday. The oldest of 4 siblings who took over the family when his father was killed 8 years ago in what the newspapers called gang violence, but everyone knew was a targeted hit during the territory war with the Castellanos. When he finally emerges from his office, he looks tired in a way that has nothing to do with business. My mother wants to meet you. The statement is so unexpected that I just stare at him. What? Sunday dinner. This week. She's decided you've worked for me long enough that she should meet you properly. He leans against my desk, arms crossed. She's been asking for 3 months. I've been avoiding it because my mother is intense. But apparently, I've run out of excuses. Mr. Romano, I don't think it's appropriate for me to have dinner with your family. I'm your secretary. You're the person who runs my life, knows my schedule better than I do, and has more insight into my business than anyone except Marco. His voice is matter of fact. My mother views you as important to the family operations. Therefore, you should meet the family properly. I'm engaged. I have a fiancé. Having dinner with your family feels inappropriate. It's a family dinner, Isabel, not a date. My mother, my brothers, my sister, probably a dozen cousins and associates, all talking too loud, arguing about everything from politics to pasta sauce. Something that might be a smile touches his mouth. You've survived 3 years working for me. You can survive 1 dinner with Mama Lucia. Is this optional? No. Then I'll be there. What time? 3 o'clock. I'll send a car for you. He starts to turn away, then stops. And Isabel? Don't tell your fiancé. He already thinks you're too involved with my family. No need to add fuel to that fire. He's gone before I can argue, leaving me staring at the space where he stood and wondering how my life became so complicated. That night, I lie in bed beside Marcus, staring at the ceiling. He's already asleep, his breathing steady and even, oblivious to the turmoil churning through me. Tomorrow, I need to give him an answer. Choose the honeymoon or choose the gala. Choose him or choose Dante. Except it's not really about the gala anymore. It's about the fact that I can't definitively choose Marcus. That some part of me has been falling for my boss without admitting it to myself. That the idea of leaving the Romano family feels like losing something essential. I should choose Marcus. Obviously, logically, rationally. But as dawn breaks and Marcus's alarm goes off, I still haven't made my decision. And when he looks at me with expectation in his eyes, waiting for my answer, I find myself saying, I need more time. His face falls. More time to choose between me and your job. More time to figure out what I actually want instead of just doing what seems safe. Safe. He sits up, running a hand through his hair. You know what, Isabel? I'm done waiting for you to figure out if I'm what you want. If you're hooked on this story, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything and helps me bring you more emotional stories like this one. I deserve better than being someone's backup plan. He climbs out of bed, starts pulling clothes from the closet. I'm going to stay at my brother's for a few days. That'll give you all the time you need to think. And when you're ready to actually commit to this relationship, really commit. Not just go through the motions, you let me know. Marcus, no. I've said my piece. Now you need to do some soul searching and figure out what you really want. Because I'm not going to keep competing with Dante Romano for your attention. He leaves, and I'm alone with the choice I still can't make. Sunday arrives too quickly. The car Dante sends is a black Mercedes, sleek and expensive, driven by a man who introduces himself as Thomas. Miss Isabel, he says, opening the rear door with practiced courtesy. Mr. Romano asked me to let you know his mother is very excited to meet you. That's kind of her. Fair warning, though. Thomas grins in the rearview mirror as we pull into traffic. Mama Lucia will ask about everything. Your family, your education, your relationship status, whether you're eating enough, whether you want children someday. She has no boundaries when it comes to people she's interested in. Why would she be interested in her son's secretary? You're not just his secretary, Miss Isabel. You're the person who keeps his life organized, who protects his time like it's gold, who's been here longer than anyone else. Thomas's voice is gentle. That makes you important. And Mama Lucia pays attention to who's important to her children. The Romano estate is in River North, a 4-story brownstone that takes up half a block and speaks of old money and older power. Iron gates open automatically as we approach, revealing a courtyard with a fountain and gardens that must be spectacular in spring. The house itself is beautiful creamstone with black shutters, wraparound porch, architecture that's been lovingly maintained for over a century. Thomas leads me to the front door, which opens before we reach it. A woman appears mid-30s, beautiful, with Dante's dark eyes and sharp features softened by warmth. You must be Isabel. I'm Gianna, Dante's sister. Come in, come in. Mama's in the kitchen terrorizing everyone, and my brothers are already arguing about football. Inside, the house is warm and lived in despite its obvious luxury. Family photos cover every surface, generations of Romanos captured in silver frames. I see Dante at various ages, always serious even as a child, standing beside a man who must be his father. The resemblance is striking. Dark eyes, strong features, same aura of controlled power. That's Papa, Gianna says, noticing my gaze. He died when Dante was 30. Territory dispute with the Castellanos that went bad. Her voice is matter of fact, but I hear the grief underneath. Dante took over the family that year. He was so young, but he was ready. Papa made sure of that. She leads me through the house, past a living room where 2 men are indeed arguing about football, down a hallway lined with more photos, to a kitchen that's massive and smells incredible. Pots simmer on an 8-burner stove. Fresh pasta hangs on racks. A whole chicken roasts in one of 2 ovens. And in the center of all this controlled chaos stands a tiny woman who can only be Lucia Romano. She's maybe 5 feet tall, with steel gray hair pulled into an elegant twist and dark eyes that see everything. She wears all black, widow's black, I realize, with a string of pearls at her throat and an apron tied around her waist. When she sees me, those sharp eyes catalog everything from my shoes to my hair in 3 seconds flat. So, she says, her accent thick with Italian music. You're Isabel, the one who's worked for my son for 3 years. Yes, ma'am. It's an honor to meet you. Mrs. Romano was my mother-in-law. God rest her. You call me Lucia. She wipes her hands on her apron and approaches me, taking my face in both hands. Her palms are warm and smell like garlic and basil. Bella, you have good bones. Strong face. You eat enough? You're too thin. I eat fine, Lucia. Thank you. We'll see about that. Today you'll eat, and we'll see if you're lying. She releases my face but takes my hand, pulling me toward the stove. Come. You help me finish the gravy. We talk while we work. I don't want to be in the way. You're not in the way. You're family now. Family helps in the kitchen. She hands me a wooden spoon. Stir the sauce, gently. Don't let it stick. I take the spoon and begin stirring the enormous pot of red sauce that's been simmering for what must be hours. The smell is incredible, tomatoes and herbs and something else I can't quite identify. Red wine, Lucia says, reading my expression. And a little sugar to cut the acid. My mother's recipe, from Palermo. Has been in our family for 5 generations. She moves to the pasta, checking its texture. You know Palermo? I've never been to Italy. Never. Lucia looks, scandalized. My son, he should take you. Show you where our family comes from. The old neighborhood in Palermo where his great-grandfather grew up. Very poor, but very proud. The Romanos, we come from nothing. Built everything with our own hands. She continues working, checking the chicken, stirring another pot, moving with the practiced efficiency of someone who's been cooking Sunday dinner for 50 years. And as she works, she talks. About the Romano family history, about Dante's great-grandfather who came to America in 1922, with nothing but a knife and determination, about building the family business through prohibition, about the territory wars with other families, about earning respect through loyalty and strength. My husband, Antonio Dante's father, he was a good man, Lucia says, her voice softening. Strong, fair. He taught our children that power means nothing without honor, that family is everything. She pauses, stirring sauce with focused attention. The Castellanos, they didn't see it that way. They wanted our territory. They thought Antonio was getting old, getting soft, so they made their move. I'm so sorry, I say quietly. It was 8 years ago. The grief, it doesn't go away, but it becomes manageable. Lucia looks at me, her eyes fierce. Dante, he was so young when he had to take over, just 30 years old, but he was ready. He made the Castellanos pay for what they did, made sure everyone knew the Romanos were still strong, still in control. She touches my hand. But it cost him, made him hard, made him forget there's more to life than business and territory and power. Why are you telling me this? Because my son, he speaks your name differently, with respect, with affection. In 3 years, you're the only person outside family he trusts completely. That means something. Lucia's gaze is penetrating. You're engaged, yes? To this accountant? Yes. My hand instinctively goes to the ring on my left finger. You love him? The question is direct, Italian bluntness that doesn't allow for deflection. Yes, I do. But you hesitate. Interesting. Lucia hands me a plate of fresh mozzarella. Take this to the dining room. Set it on the table. Then come back. We have more to discuss. The dining room is huge, dominated by a table that seats at least 20. It's already set with beautiful china and silver, wine glasses at each place, enough food on the sideboard to feed 50 people. As I set down the mozzarella, I hear voices from the living room, multiple conversations in rapid Italian, punctuated by laughter and what might be arguments. When I return to the kitchen, Dante is there, leaning against the counter while his mother speaks rapid Italian at him. He's responding in the same language, his voice affectionate and exasperated in equal measure. Mamma basta. Si, lo so. No, non è il momento. Mother, enough. Yes, I know. No, it's not the time. Lucia switches to English when she sees me. Ah, Isabel. Good. Tell my son he's being foolish. About what? I ask carefully. About pretending he doesn't have feelings for you. Lucia's directness is staggering. 3 years you work for him. 3 years he speaks your name like it matters. 3 years he makes sure you have everything you need, protects your time, trusts you with family business. You think I don't see what this means? Mama. Dante's voice carries a warning. No, I speak the truth. This girl, she deserves to know. And you deserve to stop being a coward about what you feel. Lucia turns to me. My son, he thinks he's married to the family business, that he can't have a personal life because he has responsibilities. But this is foolishness. A man needs more than power and territory. He needs love. He needs family of his own. I'm engaged, I say, but my voice wavers. To a man who doesn't understand you, who doesn't appreciate that you're strong enough to work in this world, smart enough to keep my son's life organized, brave enough to stay when most people would run. Lucia takes my hand. I'm not saying you should break your engagement. That's your choice. But I am saying you should be honest with yourself about what you feel, because life is too short for lying to ourselves about what we want. Before I can respond, Gianna appears in the doorway. Mama, everyone's here. Are we eating, or are you going to keep interrogating Isabel all afternoon? Lucia huffs but releases my hand. We eat. But this conversation, it's not finished. The dining room fills with people. Besides Dante, Gianna, and Lucia, there's Marco, Dante's brother, head of security, built like a linebacker with calculating eyes. And Luca, the The youngest Romano sibling, maybe 32, with an easy charm that probably gets him in and out of trouble regularly. There's also Uncle Salvatore, who runs the waste management operations, and his wife Teresa, several cousins whose names I immediately forget, and Tony, who I recognize as Dante's consigliere, his most trusted advisor. The table is chaos. Everyone talking at once, voices rising and falling in a mix of English and Italian, arguing about politics, about the Bears season, about whether Gianna's new restaurant location is in a good neighborhood. Lucia presides over it all from the head of the table, occasionally speaking sharp Italian that makes everyone stop and listen. Silenzio! Silence. We have a guest, Isabel, who works for Dante and keeps him from being completely impossible. We make her welcome, yes? A chorus of agreement, and then I'm peppered with questions. What part of Chicago am I from? Do I have siblings? What did my family think about me working for the Romanos? The questions are intrusive, but asked with genuine warmth. These people want to know me, to understand who I am and whether I belong. Dante sits beside me, and I feel his presence like a physical thing. Occasionally his hand brushes mine as we both reach for bread or wine. Each touch sends electricity through me that I try to ignore. The food is extraordinary. Course after course antipasti, pasta with Lucia's legendary sauce, roasted chicken with potatoes, vegetables in olive oil, fresh bread, and wine. So much wine. By the time dessert appears, tiramisu and fresh fruit, I'm fuller than I've ever been and slightly tipsy from 3 glasses of Chianti. You like? Lucia asks, watching me eat tiramisu. It's incredible. All of it. I've never had a meal like this. Good. This is what Sunday means in our family. Everyone comes home. We eat together. We argue. We love each other. She looks around the table with satisfaction. This is familia. This is what matters. After dinner, while the women clear dishes and the men retreat to the living room to smoke cigars and discuss business, Gianna pulls me aside. So, she says, her smile knowing, my mother likes you. That's rare. I'm just Dante's secretary. Please, you're more than that, and everyone can see it. The way he watches you when you're not looking. The way you straighten his collar when he's not paying attention. The way you both pretend there's nothing between you, while the rest of us can feel the tension from across the room. Gianna hands me a plate to dry. What I want to know is, what are you going to do about it? I'm engaged. To someone who isn't right for you, I can tell. She rinses another plate. Look, I don't know your fiancé. Maybe he's a great guy. But Isabel, I've seen my brother with a lot of women over the years. He's never looked at any of them the way he looks at you. Like you're necessary. Like you're home. That's not. We're just. It's professional. Keep telling yourself that. Gianna's smile is gentle. But eventually, you're going to have to decide whether you want the safe life with the nice accountant or the complicated life with my brother. And I'll tell you this being, with a Romano isn't easy. Our world is dangerous. Our business is complicated. But when we love completely, forever, with everything we have. Later, Dante drives me home himself, dismissing Thomas with a wave. We sit in comfortable silence for the first few blocks, the car's heater fighting against November cold. I'm sorry about my mother, he says finally. She's subtle as a sledgehammer when she decides someone is important. She loves you. All of you. It's nice to see. It's suffocating sometimes. But yes, I'm lucky to have her. He glances at me. What did you think? Of the dinner? Of my family? I think they're loud and warm and exactly what a family should be. I pause. I think your mother is terrifying in the best possible way. And I think your siblings would do anything for you. They would. And I'd do anything for them. That's what family means in our world. Absolute loyalty, no matter what. He pulls up to my apartment building, puts the car in park but doesn't make a move to let me out. Isabel, I need to tell you something. You don't have to. I do. Because my mother is right. And I've been a coward about this for too long. He turns to face me fully. I have feelings for you. Real feelings that go way beyond professional respect. I've been in love with you for at least a year, maybe longer. And I know you're engaged. I know you've been trying to build a life with Marcus, but I can't keep pretending I don't feel what I feel. My breath catches. Dante, you don't have to say anything. I'm not asking you to leave him or choose me. I just needed you to know the truth. That for me, this hasn't been just a professional relationship for a very long time. You're important to me, Isabel. More important than you probably realize. I don't know what to say. Then don't say anything. Just think about it. Think about whether what you have with Marcus is what you really want, or whether you've been settling for safe when you could have something real. He reaches across, touches my hand briefly. Whatever you decide, I'll respect it. But I needed you to know you have options, that someone sees you, really sees you, and wants you anyway. I get out of the car in a daze and watch him drive away, and standing there in the cold, I realize that Marcus was right. I have been in love with Dante Romano without admitting it to myself, and now I have to decide what I'm going to do about it. The next morning, I call Marcus. He answers on the third ring, his voice cautious. Isabel, I need to tell you something, and I need to be honest, even though it's going to hurt. You're choosing him. I don't know yet, but I can't lie to you anymore. I have feelings for Dante, real feelings, and I can't marry you while I'm feeling this way about someone else. You deserve better than that. The silence stretches. Then, thank you for being honest. Finally. I'm so sorry, Marcus. You're a good man. You deserve someone who chooses you without hesitation. Yeah, I do. He takes a shaky breath. I'll have my brother come get my things this week. And Isabel, I hope you know what you're doing. That world Dante Romano lives in. It's not safe. It's not normal. Make sure you're ready for what that means. I will. Take care of yourself, Marcus. After I hang up, I sit in my apartment for a long time, thinking about the choice I'm making, about the safe, normal life I'm walking away from, about the dangerous, complicated world I'm choosing instead. Then I call Dante. Isabel? He sounds surprised. Is everything okay? I ended things with Marcus. I told him the truth that I have feelings for you and I can't marry him while that's true. Are you okay? I don't know, but I'm sure I made the right choice. I take a breath. Dante, I'm scared. Your world is dangerous. Your family's business is illegal. Being with you means accepting things I never thought I'd accept. But I can't keep lying to myself about what I feel. What do you feel? That I've been falling for you for a year. That working for you stopped being just a job a long time ago. That when you look at me, I feel seen in a way I never have before. Where are you right now? My apartment. Stay there. I'm coming to you. He arrives 30 minutes later, and the moment I open the door, he pulls me into his arms. You're sure about this? About me? Because once you're in my world, there's no easy way out. I'm not sure about anything except that I want to try, that I want to see what this could be between us. He kisses me then, slow and deep and full of promise. And when we finally break apart, he rests his forehead against mine. Okay, then we do this right. We take our time. We figure out how this works with you working for me, with my family, with everything. His hands frame my face. But Isabel, I need you to understand something. My world isn't just complicated business. It's dangerous. I have enemies. The Castellanos, especially, they've been looking for any leverage they can find. If they figure out you matter to me, what would they do? Try to use you to hurt me. That's how these things work. You target what someone loves to get what you want. His expression is serious. I can protect you. I will protect you. But you need to be aware of the risks. I understand. Do you? Because understanding intellectually and living with the reality are very different things. He pulls back slightly. The Castellanos have been pushing boundaries for months, testing our territory, trying to figure out our weaknesses. My security team has been tracking their movements, and everything points to an escalation soon, which means everything points to you potentially becoming a target. So what do? For now, we're careful. We don't advertise our relationship. At work, we maintain professional distance. Outside of work, we keep things private. And I make sure you have protection when you need it. Over the next 2 weeks, we settle into a new normal. At the office, nothing changes. I'm still his secretary. He's still my boss, and we maintain the careful professionalism we've always had. But outside of work, we're together. Quiet dinners at his place, walks through Chicago's parks, conversations that stretch late into the night. I learn more about him. About the weight of running a crime family, about the impossible choices between loyalty to the old ways and the desire to evolve, about the guilt he carries for his father's death, the belief that if he'd been older, stronger, smarter, maybe Antonio would still be alive. It wasn't your fault, I tell him one night, lying in his bed with moonlight streaming through the windows. You were 30. You did everything you could. I know, Logically, I know. But logic doesn't make the guilt go away. He traces patterns on my shoulder. My father was trying to negotiate peace with the Castellanos when they killed him. He thought we could share territory, avoid bloodshed. But the Castellanos saw negotiation as weakness. They saw an opportunity to eliminate a rival and they took it. What happened after? I stopped negotiating. I showed them exactly what weakness wasn't. We went to war for 6 months. By the time it ended, the Castellanos had lost half their operations and understood that the Romanos weren't going anywhere. His voice is hard. They've been pushing boundaries again lately, testing us, seeing if we're still strong or if enough time has passed that they can try again. Is that why they're coming to the gala? Partly. Marco Castellano wants to show he's not afraid of us, wants to remind everyone that his family is still powerful. But it's also a test. If we refuse to let them attend, we look petty. If we let them attend and something goes wrong, we look weak. It's a no-win situation, unless nothing goes wrong, which is why I need you there, to make sure nothing goes wrong. The gala is everything I planned and more. 342 guests in formal wear, the ballroom decorated in white and gold, champagne flowing freely. The mayor makes a speech about Romano Construction's contributions to Chicago's development. Senators shake hands and make promises. CEOs discuss potential partnerships. And in the middle of it all, the Castellanos sit at table 6, watching everything with calculating eyes. Marco Castellano is in his 50s, distinguished in a way that makes him look more like a banker than a mob boss. His wife, Victoria, is elegant and cold. His brother, Anthony, has mean eyes and a reputation for violence. And his nephew, Luca, watches me with an intensity that makes my skin crawl. I'm managing a minor crisis with the caterer when I feel someone behind me. I turn to find Luca Castellano standing too close, smiling in a way that doesn't reach his eyes. You're Isabel, right? Dante Romano's secretary? Yes. Can I help you with something? Just introducing myself. Luca Castellano. He offers his hand, and I have to shake it to avoid being rude. His grip is too tight, too long. You know, you're much prettier than I expected. Usually Romano only hires old ladies as secretaries. I should get back to work. Stay a minute. I'm curious about you. How long have you worked for Romano? 3 years. 3 years. That's a long time. You must see a lot, know a lot. His smile widens. Bet you could tell some interesting stories about what really goes on at Romano Construction. The hair on the back of my neck stands up. This isn't small talk. This is fishing. Trying to figure out how much I know, whether I might be useful. I'm sorry. I really need to. Luca. Dante's voice cuts through the conversation like a blade. He's crossed the ballroom in seconds, and now he stands between me and the Castellano nephew with barely contained violence in his eyes. You enjoying the event? Very much. Just getting to know your secretary. She's charming. She's busy. I'm sure you can find entertainment elsewhere. It's not a suggestion. Luca's smile sharpens. Of course. Wouldn't want to keep her from her duties. He nods at me. Pleasure to meet you, Isabel. I'm sure we'll see each other again. He walks away, and Dante's hand finds my lower back, steadying me. You okay? Fine. He was just being a creep? Yeah, that's Luca. He's young and stupid and looking to prove himself to his uncle. Dante's jaw is tight. I don't like him talking to you. I don't like him knowing your name. It's a public event. I'm wearing a name tag. I know. But the Castellanos knowing you exist, knowing you work for me, that's not good. That makes you visible in ways I don't want. He looks around the ballroom. Stay close to Marco's security team for the rest of the night. Don't go anywhere alone. And if any Castellano tries to talk to you again, you come find me immediately. The rest of the gala passes without incident. But I can't shake the feeling of being watched. And when I finally go home at 2 a.m, exhausted and anxious, I find a note slipped under my apartment door. We know who you are. We know what you mean to him. Be careful. No signature. But I don't need one to know it's from the Castellanos. I call Dante immediately, my hands shaking as I read him the note. Pack a bag, he says, his voice deadly calm. Right now. Enough clothes for a few days. Marco is on his way to you. He'll bring you to my penthouse. You're not staying in that apartment another night. Dante, this is crazy. This is necessary. The Castellanos just threatened you. That's an escalation I can't ignore. You need to be somewhere I can protect you, somewhere they can't get to you. You can't just kidnap me. I'm not kidnapping you. I'm protecting you. There's a difference. His voice softens slightly. Isabel, please. Let me keep you safe. Can we make sure nothing happens to you because of me? Okay, I whisper. Okay, I'll pack. Marco arrives 20 minutes later with 2 other men I recognize from Romano security. They sweep my apartment, check for bugs or tracking devices, then escort me down to the waiting SUV like I'm precious cargo. The penthouse is on the 42nd floor of a building Romano Construction owns, and it's as secure as a fortress. Cameras everywhere, guards on every floor, bulletproof windows. Marco personally walks me through the security system, shows me the panic buttons, explains the escape routes. Boss's orders, he says gruffly. You're not to leave without an armed escort. You don't open the door for anyone except family. And if anything seems wrong, anything at all, you hit the panic button and we'll be here in under 60 seconds. This is insane. This is your life now. Marco's voice is, matter of fact. You're important to the boss. That makes you a target. We treat you like we'd treat any Romano family member, with maximum security and zero tolerance for risks. After Marco leaves, I explore the space. It's beautiful but impersonal. Clearly decorated by a professional who never actually lived here. Expensive furniture, modern art, a kitchen that's barely been used. This isn't a home. It's a safe house disguised as luxury. Dante arrives an hour later, and the exhaustion on his face breaks my heart. I'm sorry, he says immediately. I'm sorry you're here. I'm sorry my world is putting you in danger. I'm sorry. I kiss him, stopping the apology. I chose this. I chose you, and I knew it came with risks. Knowing and living it are different. Then we'll figure it out together. I take his hand. What happens now? With the Castellanos? Now I remind them why threatening a Romano's people is a very bad idea. His expression hardens. I'm calling a meeting. All the families. Making it clear that you're under my protection and touching you means war. Will that work? It has to. Because if they push this, if they actually try to hurt you, I'll burn their entire operation to the ground. Territory, businesses, everything. I'll make sure the Castellano family ceases to exist. The next day, while Dante is at the meeting with the families, I'm alone in the penthouse with my thoughts. I've been here less than 24 hours and already I feel trapped. Safe, but trapped. My phone rings. Unknown number. I almost don't answer, but curiosity wins. Hello? Isabel. Marcus's voice. I heard about what happened. About the Castellanos targeting you. Are you okay? How did you know about that? It's Chicago. Word travels. He pauses. Look, I know we're not together anymore. I know you chose him. But I still care about you, and I wanted to make sure you're safe. I'm fine. Dante has me somewhere secure. In his penthouse prison, you mean? There's an edge to Marcus's voice. Isabel, this is what I was afraid of. This is why I said his world is dangerous. Now you're locked in a fortress because mob families are using you as leverage. I know what I signed up for. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you traded one controlling relationship for another. At least with me you were safe. Safe isn't always better, Marcus. No, but alive is. He takes a breath. Just promise me you'll be careful. That you won't let your feelings for him blind you to how dangerous this all is. I promise. And Marcus? Thank you for calling. For caring. After I hang up, I think about his words. About control and safety and danger. About whether I've made a terrible mistake or the best decision of my life. When Dante returns that evening, he looks grimmer than I've ever seen him. The meeting didn't go well? I ask. It went exactly as expected. The Castellanos denied sending the note. Claimed they would never threaten a civilian. Made themselves look reasonable while making me look paranoid. He pours himself a whiskey. Downs it in one swallow. But Marco Castellano understood the message. He knows if anything happens to you, I'll hold him personally responsible. So what happens now? Now we wait. See if they push or if they back off. And in the meantime, you stay here where I know you're safe. For how long? Until we're sure the threat has passed. Dante, I can't hide in your penthouse forever. I know. But I need you to trust me on this. Just for a few weeks. Let me make sure you're truly safe before you go back to your normal life. I want to argue. Want to insist I can take care of myself. But the truth is, I'm terrified. And having Dante's protection, being surrounded by armed guards and security systems, makes me feel safe in a way I haven't in a long time. Okay, I say. A few weeks. But then we figure out a long-term solution, because I'm not going to live in fear forever. Deal. He pulls me close. And Isabel? Thank you. For being brave enough to stay. For not running when things got dangerous. Where would I run to? You've ruined me for normal life. I smile slightly. Besides, I love you. That means something. Say it again, he whispers. I love you, Dante Romano. Complicated, dangerous, impossible you. I love you too. More than I thought I was capable of loving anyone. He kisses me softly. And I promise you, I'll make this right. I'll make sure you can live without looking over your shoulder, whatever it takes. 3 weeks pass. I work from the penthouse, coordinating with the office remotely, managing Dante's schedule from my laptop. Marco brings me files and documents. Gianna visits, bringing food and gossip and sisterly support. Lucia calls every day, asking if I'm eating enough and reminding me that being with a Romano means accepting certain inconveniences. Your life will never be completely normal, she tells me during one call, but it will be full of love, of family, of people who would die to protect you. Is that not worth some inconvenience? When you put it that way, I put it the only way that matters. Now, when can you come to Sunday dinner? My son says you're still in hiding, but this is ridiculous. You are family now. You eat with family. That Sunday, I attend dinner at the Romano estate for the first time as Dante's partner, not just his employee. And everything feels different. The way his hand rests possessively on my lower back. The way Lucia introduces me as Dante's Isabel, with obvious satisfaction. The way his siblings tease him about finally finding someone who can put up with him. After dinner, Dante pulls me aside to the same sitting room where I first met Lucia. I have something for you, he says, reaching into his pocket. He pulls out a small velvet box and my breath catches. Dante, let me do this properly. He opens the box to reveal a ring-simple platinum band with a single diamond, elegant and beautiful. Isabel, I know this is fast. I know my world is complicated and dangerous. But I also know I want to spend my life with you. Will you marry me? Tears blur my vision. Yes, of course, yes. He slides the ring onto my finger and it fits perfectly. Then he kisses me, and I hear cheering from the dining room where his entire family has obviously been listening. Your mother planned this, I accuse. Obviously. She's been planning our wedding since the first Sunday dinner. He grins. She already has a dress picked out for you. I haven't even said yes to the dress yet. You will. No one argues with Mama Lucia about weddings. The engagement is announced at Sunday dinner the following week, and the Romano family celebrates with the kind of loud joy that makes my heart full. This is what family means in their world. Not just blood, but chosen. Not just loyalty, but love. But the celebration is interrupted by Marco rushing in, his expression grim. Boss, we have a situation. Dante's face goes hard. What happened? The Castellanos. They hit 3 of our protection clients tonight. Told them they're under Castellano protection now. They're making a move. The temperature in the room drops. Lucia stands, speaking rapid Italian that I'm starting to understand means she's furious. Gianna puts a protective arm around me. Luca and Marco Romano are already on their phones, coordinating responses, and Dante is the center of controlled fury. Where? Taylor Street, Little Italy. They're pushing right into our core territory. Assemble everyone. Every soldier, every associate, everyone who owes us loyalty. We meet in 1 hour. Dante turns to me. Isabel, you stay here with my mother. You don't leave this house. Marco, you post guards on every entrance. No one gets in or out without clearance. I'm coming with you, I say. Absolutely not. Dante, I'm part of this family now. You should stay where you're safe. His voice softens slightly. Please, amor mio. Let me handle this without worrying about you being in danger. I want to argue, want to insist on being included. But I see the fear in his eyes and I understand. Okay, but you be careful. You come back to me. Always. He kisses me once, hard and possessive. I love you. Ti amo, I whisper back, the Italian coming naturally now. He leaves with his brothers, with Tony, with a dozen other men who are ready to go to war for the Romano family. And I'm left with Lucia and Gianna and Teresa, surrounded by guards, waiting. This is the life, Lucia says quietly. The men go to war, the women wait and pray. It's been this way for generations. Does it ever get easier? No. But you learn to be strong, to trust that your man knows what he's doing, to have faith that he'll come home. She takes my hand. And if he doesn't, you honor his memory by protecting what he built. The hours pass slowly. Gianna makes coffee. Teresa says rosaries. Lucia cooks because that's what she does when she's anxious. And I sit by the window, watching the street, waiting for Dante to return. At 3 a.m, the cars finally pull into the driveway. Dante emerges first, and relief floods through me. He's alive. He's whole. He's home. I run to him, and he catches me up, holding me tight. It's over. The Castellanos back down. We came to an agreement. What kind of agreement? Territory redistribution. They get a piece of the docks in exchange for pulling out of Little Italy completely. It's not ideal, but it avoids open war. He sets me down but keeps his arms around me, and I made sure they understood you're completely off limits, protected by every alliance we have. Touching you means not just war with the Romanos, but with every family that respects us. So I'm safe? You're as safe as anyone can be in this world. He touches my face. I'm sorry. For dragging you into this. For making you a target. You didn't drag me. I chose this. I chose you. I kiss him softly. And I don't regret it. Not even a little? Not even a little. 6 months later, I'm standing in street. Michael's church in Little Italy, wearing a dress that Lucia did indeed pick out for me. 300 people fill the pews, Romano family and associates, business partners, politicians who've benefited from Romano support, even some rival families, showing respect by attending. And at the altar, Dante waits for me with his brothers beside him, looking at me like I'm the only person in the world. The ceremony is in English and Italian, with vows we wrote ourselves. I promise to love him, support him, understand his world while keeping him grounded in mine. He promises to protect me, cherish me, and never take for granted the gift of my trust. When the priest pronounces us husband and wife, the church erupts in cheers. And as Dante kisses me, I think about how one canceled honeymoon led to all of this, to family and danger and love that's stronger than fear. The reception is at the best hotel in Chicago, with food that Lucia insisted on overseeing personally. We dance to Italian music, toast with wine that Dante's cousins imported from Sicily, celebrate with people who've become my family. Happy? Dante asks as we dance our first dance as husband and wife. Impossibly happy. No regrets about the accountant? About the safe life? Not even one. I rest my head against his chest. This is what I needed. Not safety, but truth. Not normal, but real. I love you, Mrs. Romano. I love you too, Mr. Romano. A year later, I'm still working as Dante's secretary, though now everyone knows I'm also his wife. The dynamic is different but somehow works. At the office, we're professional. At home, we're partners in every sense. The Castellanos have kept their distance. The territory agreement holds. And life in the Romano family continues: loud Sunday dinners, complicated business, love that's fierce and protective and absolute. Marcus sends a wedding gift, a card that says, "I hope you found what you were looking for." I send him a thank you note and mean it. He was part of my journey, even if he wasn't my destination. And standing in Dante's arms at yet another Sunday dinner, surrounded by the loud, loving, dangerous Romano family, I know with absolute certainty that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I canceled my honeymoon for a Mafia boss's gala. He responded by protecting me, claiming me, offering me a partnership that goes beyond any wedding vow. Sometimes, the best things in life come from the most unexpected choices. From canceled plans and impossible attractions, and the courage to choose what you actually want, instead of what seems safe. I wanted safety once. Stability. The normal life Marcus offered. But standing here with Dante's hand in mine, surrounded by family who'd die to protect me, I realized what I really wanted was this. Dangerous, yes. Complicated, absolutely. But real and honest and full, of the kind of love that transforms everything. And I wouldn't change a single choice that led me here. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you loved this story, check out the other videos on your screen now. I think you'll really enjoy them. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next story.